Looks like the broadcast is working perfectly today. This is good news. So real quick, guys, before I dive in, I know like a lot of people are hitting refresh and getting onto this call right now. So I'm going to take some time and cover some announcements. I added a new channel into the bootcamp chats. So it's not actually added to the actual bootcamp itself, but if you go into the actual chat side of the real world, you scroll down. Once you get to stage 10, you will get access to a new channel called like temporary bootcamp updates. Basically, it has a highlight of the latest video trainings that I've done to help get you up to speed with some of the changes that I made. Because if you go through the boot camp, I'm telling you streaks and 40 emails a day, that kind of stuff. I give you all of the updates and what you should be doing inside of that new channel. You won't see it if you just started the boot camp. Once you are getting to stage 10, though, which is where you start to learn how to land clients and how to do all that stuff, you'll see a new channel pop up for you there. And you'll be able to see the videos you need to watch and the recommendations I have to update your progress as you go through the bootcamp. Essentially, you don't have to collect 40 prospects a day. You really just need to get 20 that first day. You won't even reach out to all 20, but you need 20 to start with. And I tell you to not use Streak. So anytime you come across a video talking about how to set up Streak, you don't need to do that. And I tell you how to do one-on-one outreach in a more valuable way throughout those videos than just kind of copying and pasting one of the templates. So watch that. It'll help you get through the stage 14 chats much faster. Instead of taking 4 days, it'll probably take you 2 days because of the new updates, which is good. A lot of people have been asking. I'm going to cover this right now before I get into the actual content. Real quick, small question a lot of people have had is, how do I track my open rates if I don't use Streak? There's a lot of different plugins you can use that will add a tracking code to your email. For example, I know Hunter.io has a free one that you can do where you can send it out and then you go in and check and see if it's been opened up. There's a lot of different free plugins for tracking codes for open emails. So just go find one. They're all pretty much the same. But yeah, so that should cover that part of that question. Let's talk about today's actual content. Real quick, let me check in the chat. Now, I'm gonna ask a question. I want to see if you guys have experienced this. So when I announced, hey guys, we're not doing 40 emails a day. We're not doing automated blast emails out to people like you guys have learned how to do in the boot camp. Where again, I never told you guys to send like low value emails. I expected you guys to all use Streak to highly personalize and send very valuable emails. It was really easy for you guys to just kind of take the path of least resistance and simply just email out a bunch of people a bunch of just low value emails. So we've changed that. And I'm wondering how many of you, when I first made the announcement, I was like, hey guys, we're going from 40 emails a day down to 20 emails a day or less. How many of you were worried? You're like, wow, am I even going to be able to land a client at 20 or less emails a day? Will people even open my emails? If you've ever experienced that, I see some of you guys have put one in the chat just for the fun of it. But if you've ever experienced that feeling, put a number 1 in the chat. I want to see how many of you were worried, man, if I only send a few emails a day, will I be able to land a client? Is it even going to work? If you had that worry, put a 1 in the chat, say I experienced that or whatever. If not, good for you. This lesson is still going to be important. But if you've ever felt that worry, okay, quite a few of you guys, yeah, let's talk about it. So I get this question every so often in the chat. People are like, yeah, like if before I was sending 40 emails a day and I have them highly personalized, or I could send a few emails a day where I'm really stopping to create good value for each of them, make them extremely personalized, and I can only do like 2 to 5 a day. But is that enough to get a client? Should I go back to doing a lot of high volume emails? What's more important, quantity versus quality? And so I've been answering this question with a very specific metaphor that I think is going to be helpful for all of you, not just in this aspect of outreach, but in basically everything you approach inside of life, inside of moving forward to become successful. Let's imagine a hypothetical situation. Let's imagine you're out hiking through the mountains, right? Imagine you're out Rocky Mountains or whatever big mountains you guys have by you. Imagine you're out there and it's beautiful. You're in the trees, there's birds, the beautiful sunlight, and all of a sudden you hear a roar. And you look across the meadow and there's a giant grizzly bear, big, brown, scary bear running at you full speed, right? Now, this bear is obviously intent on eating you and destroying you. You're going to be dead, right? It's time to be calm. It's time to make the right decision, right? So you have 2 options. Let's imagine in this world you say, okay, I'm going to pull out an airsoft gun and shoot hundreds of these plastic BBs bullets at this bear as it charges at me. I'll be able to shoot hundreds of bullets. Would you rather do that, or would you instead? Now, I would use the actual caliber that the big game enthusiasts use, but let's just pretend this for you guys who don't understand this. Let's imagine instead you have a 50 caliber rifle. right? 50 BMG rifle. And you are, in the time this bear runs at you, you'll probably be able to get 3 to 5 well-aimed, well-placed shots out. Which of the two weapons would you choose? The bear's charging, you're about to die. Do you pick the airsoft bullets, the little plastic BBs, because you can shoot hundreds of them, or do you shoot 3 to 5 well-aimed, high-power cartridges at this bear? Which do you guys choose? Some of you guys would just die. Someone said I would just accept my fate and pray to Allah. Okay, that's interesting. You have the opportunity to influence the situation. As far as I'm aware, most deity figures in the world help those who help themselves. 50 cal, 50 cal, yeah, the rifle, 50 cal, two, yeah, everyone is making that choice, right? And obviously you should have faith and you should be a good person. That's probably gonna help your odds in this situation. It can't hurt. But everyone is saying, well, obviously pick that higher impact, more powerful outreach, or outreach. Look, I just jumped the metaphor. You pick the more powerful cartridge because it actually has the opportunities to stop running bear. Now, landing a client is a pretty big deal, right? A good client can be worth anywhere from 6 figures to 7 figures for you if you know how to manage one, right? If you give me one of the guys who reply back to your stuff and I take them on as a client, I'll make them pay me 7 figures over the course of a year because I'll help them make $100 million bucks, right? They're at least worth 6 figures a year. So it's a pretty high stakes situation here. This is a pretty big deal. And you know what you're doing with them, right? And I've always said, I think this is one of my favorite quotes from the boot camp for myself is, he who impacts the reader the most wins. And that's entirely true, right? He who impacts the reader the most wins. And that is, nowhere is it truer than with outreach, with reaching out to a business. He who actually can impact the reader and show up in the most valuable and interesting way wins. Now, I'm not saying you should all send out free value emails where you're copying and pasting a complete new funnel build out. I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying what you should do is you should make sure that you are prioritizing quality and impact over quantity right now when you're first starting. Let me explain why. You start off and you're going to do 2 outreaches a day, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe all the way up to 10 if you know what you're doing. But you're going to do just a few outreaches a day. They're going to be high value. They're going to be that 50 caliber rifle round going downrange at the charging bear. You're much more likely to have an effect downrange than shooting a lot of lowly, like barely personalized blast emails out, like the Airsoft BB, by example, right? Those, even if the reader opens them, the impact level is maybe going to be a 2 out of a 10 on the emotional impact Richter scale, right? Whereas if you send a highly personalized email that is designed to be valuable to that person, you're going to be hitting them with a 6 or a 7, or if you're really good, a 9 or a 10 on the emotional impact scale. You are going to defeat any of the little two level impacts that they're getting from all of their regular emotional, the regular cold outreaches they're getting from other people, right? You want to pick the one that has the higher impact. Now, as you get better and better at creating good free value and you get better and better at showing up with value in these outreaches, you'll be able to do more per day than you could before. So you start out and maybe, yeah, it'll take you it'll take you a whole day to do 3 outreaches, right? It might be, and you might be worried about that, but that's okay. You're in a better situation than if you just blast it all out. And over time, you're going to get better. And then the next day, maybe you'll be able to do 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 because you get faster at research. You get faster at putting together value. You get really, really good at matching what you have to what they need. You'll get better at this. And as you get better, you'll be able to move faster. And you'll be able to do 10, 15 outreaches in a day with the same level of quality as you did before when you can only do 3 to 5. So at this stage, when you guys are learning how to help businesses, it's much better for you to focus on the quality first and over time build up the quantity, right? Because it doesn't matter if you do a high quantity of low impact tasks, it's not going to be as effective as doing one single high impact task. And if you can get to the point where you do many high impact tasks or many high impact outreaches, that's better, obviously, right? When I originally put together the whole idea with Streak for you guys, it's because that's what I did. I created a bunch of high value. I would do 20 to 40 high value outreaches in a day when I was using Streak to land clients through cold outreach, right? And it was high impact. Yeah, I used Streak, but there was a big bunch of variables, a bunch of personalized value, and a bunch of really good free value whenever I did it. And that's why I was successful at it, right? And I expected you guys to follow suit and to do as I instructed in the boot camp, but you know, in the heat of battle, things get lost, right? And I totally understand. So now I'm encouraging you to shift over and focus on creating high value outreaches because you're more likely to get a client that way. That's the 50 caliber round than by doing a bunch of a high volume of low impact outreaches. So keep that in mind. I'm all about speed. I'm all about doing a high quantity, high number of output, but that comes secondary, or that comes as a result of having figured out your quality right. Going fast, it doesn't mean go fast and be terrible, be worthless, and dampen the amount of the speed. Isn't about doing a lot of stuff and just being busy. It's about doing the right stuff as quickly and efficiently as possible, and filling your time with high output activities so that you're getting more of those without like sacrificing the quality. Sacrificing the quality ruins the point of the whole work, right? And it's not enough to just do a bunch of stuff. You got to do a bunch of stuff well, right? So start with doing things well, and you'll get better and better at doing a bunch of stuff. So whenever you sit there to write an email and you ask yourself, should I kind of just cut the corner and get this one out and just send it out so I get another one and another one? Remind yourself of the charging bear and ask yourself, which would you rather do? Would you rather pull out the airsoft BBs and fire them downrange, hundreds of them at the charging bear? Or would you rather pull out a serious high impact and do some serious damage downrange? Keep that in mind. Make your choice. It's pretty clear when it's a bear charging at you. Sometimes things can get fuddled up when it's a different scenario. So keep that in mind. Hopefully this is able to help you guys see a little more clearly. We've got our live copy review this Thursday. So if you haven't submitted a copy to get reviewed, do that. There's a good chance I'm going to select one. I'm going to select 5 at random, and then we'll review those live. Again, if you haven't seen all of the updates in the temporary bootcamp updates channel that I posted inside of the beginner bootcamp in the chats, go look at that. I put a link to it in announcements today as well. Go take a look at that because it has a lot of the resources you need to take what you've learned in the old bootcamp and move it over to sort of the updated recommendations I have. Obviously, once I completely finish the new bootcamp, that'll go away and it'll all be in one nice, easy package. But right now, I didn't want to wait a week for you guys and just leave you guys in limbo. I wanted to give you guys the resources you need so you can get up to speed as quickly as possible. So go check that out. My friends, it's good to talk to you guys. I hope you are able to win in your battle against the bear. I hope you focus on creating high value and impacting those readers, whether that be in outreach or whether that be in anything that you do as a copywriter or as a person. I hope that you're leading a positive impact, a memorable impact on those that you work with. My friends, it's been a good call. I'll talk to you guys later tomorrow, perhaps later today if I do a spontaneous Q&A. You guys take care. I'll see you tomorrow.